If you currently receive Social Security or SSI, I need you to pause everything else you are doing for the next few minutes and stick around because there is a rule going into effect. July 2026 that changes who can access your bank accounts, how frequently they can do so, and what will happen to your monthly payment if they find anything you did not report. This is not a proposal. This is not something still being debated in some congressional committee. It is an official, finalized rule change currently being implemented through the Social Security Administration right now. And the vast majority of seniors I hear from have either never heard of this at all or only saw a sensational headline about it without understanding what it actually means for their own benefit deposit. I am not talking about something that could happen at some point down the road. I am talking about a concrete change to how your benefits are verified starting this summer and the specific details you need to understand before it impacts your account. For more than 10 years, I have researched retirement benefits, senior tax programs, and the financial regulations that impact seniors every single year. And the pattern I see over and over again is honest, hardworking people getting completely blindsided by a rule change that nobody ever took the time to explain to them in simple plain English. That is exactly what I am going to do for you today. Now, before we dive into the details, I want to ask you one thing directly. Are you already subscribed to this channel? If you are not, go ahead and tap that subscribe button right now and turn on all notifications. Here is exactly why this matters so much for you personally. Social Security rules, Medicare rules, and all the verification systems behind your benefits are changing all the time. And when they change, nobody will ever send you a personal letter explaining exactly what it means for your situation or what steps you need to take. This channel covers every single update in plain, simple language the very moment it becomes official. If you are not subscribed, the next major change that directly impacts your monthly check will come and go, and you will never even know it happened. Subscribe right now, and let's break this entire rule down together. Here is exactly what we are covering today. First, what this new bank access rule actually is, explained completely in plain English with none of the bureaucratic jargon that makes it sound either scarier or more confusing than it actually is. Second, exactly who this applies to right now, and the very large group of seniors who assume this does not affect them, but absolutely will be impacted. Third, exactly what the system will be looking for inside your accounts, including any accounts you may have completely forgotten you even had. And finally, the scam that has already attached itself to this new rule and is currently targeting seniors who just heard about it, plus the exact actionable steps you can take to protect yourself and remain fully compliant. Please stay with me all the way through this video because the part almost everyone gets wrong is right near the end, and that is the part that will actually protect your benefit check. Let me start by explaining exactly what this rule is and why it is being introduced. The system at the center of this entire change is called AFI, the Access to Financial Institutions System. In simple terms, AFI is the electronic tool that the Social Security Administration uses to connect directly to banks and credit unions to confirm the actual balances you hold in your accounts. This system is not new, it has existed for many years. What is changing in 2026 is how often they are required to use it, and how very few limitations will remain on when they can do so. For a very long time, there was a threshold rule in place. The SSA would only ever run a full bank verification if your self-reported resources were above a specific dollar amount. If you stated you had very little, they almost always did not check any further. That threshold acted as a sort of speed bump that limited how often the agency would access your account information. Under the new rule going into effect, that speed bump is being completely removed for a far larger group of people. The agency is now instructed to run a full financial institution verification on nearly all new SSI claim approvals, no matter how much or how little you state you have, and to repeat these verifications much more regularly for the entire duration of your claim. I want to be very clear about why this is happening, because the reasoning is important. The Social Security Administration's stated mandate is to pay the correct amount to the correct person at the correct time. SSI specifically is a needs-based benefit program. It was designed for people with extremely limited income and resources, and it has a strict fixed resource limit. For an individual, that limit has remained $2,000 in countable resources for many years. Go over that limit, and your eligibility will be impacted. The SSA's official position is that improper payments, money paid to people who were over the resource limit, are one of the single largest issues faced into the program. So the logic is straightforward. If they verify account balances more often and more thoroughly, they can identify resource issues much earlier before a large overpayment builds up that they will later attempt to recover from you. That is the official side of this change. And I want you to hear it clearly because understanding the SSA's reasoning is exactly what will help you remain in compliance with this rule. An overpayment is not free money. If the SSA pays you benefits you were not eligible to receive because you were over the resource limit, they will eventually discover this and they will demand that money back. More frequent verification is in part the agency's attempt to stop this problem before it turns into a large bill addressed directly to you. Now here's the part that catches almost everyone out, and I need you to really pay close attention to this. A huge number of seniors hear about an SSI bank access rule and immediately think, well, that doesn't apply to me. I get regular Social Security retirement, not SSI, or I get Social Security disability insurance. That is completely separate. And you are correct that this specific rule as written today applies to the SSI program. But here's what you need to understand about the direction all of this is heading. SSI is almost always the test bed for these kinds of verification changes. It is the needs-based program, so checking assets is already built into its core structure. All of these tools, these systems, this automated bank access, they are all built and tested and expanded inside SSI first. And there is now broad bipartisan discussion in Washington that increasingly centers around the idea of extending means testing to other benefit programs in the future. Means testing simply means adjusting the amount of benefit you receive based on how much income and assets you already hold. And here's the most important point. You cannot implement means testing for any program unless you first have the ability to see inside someone's bank accounts. The entire verification infrastructure currently being built and expanded for SSI right now is exactly the same infrastructure that would be required to check assets for any other benefit program in the future. So even if this exact specific rule does not impact your retirement check today, the underlying system behind it is the thing you need to understand because it tells you exactly where all of this is heading. I am not telling you this to scare you. I am telling you this so you will not be caught completely by surprise later. Let me explain exactly what this verification actually does once it runs, because this is where this becomes very concrete. When the SSA runs an AFI check on you, it does not only check the single account you told them about. The system can run up to 10 separate geographic searches tied to all of your personal information. It searches based on your current and past addresses, and it can also pull in addresses and identifying information connected to your representative payee if you have one. It will find all the accounts you did report, and critically, it will also find any accounts you did not report. And this is the part I really want you to fully understand, because this has nothing to do with hiding anything. This has everything to do with forgetting. Huge numbers of seniors have some old account somewhere they have not thought about in 10 or 20 years. A savings account at a bank that was bought out and renamed 3 times. A small credit union account they opened decades ago for a car loan that has just been sitting there with a few $100s ever since. A certificate of deposit a parent or relative set up for them a long time ago. You might honestly and completely have forgotten these accounts even exist. The system does not care that you forgot. It will find them and it will count them. So, if you are on SSI and you have been operating under the assumption that your countable resources are well under the limit, one old forgotten account showing up in a scan could change that calculation completely in a way you never saw coming. Here is the full list of exactly what the system is designed to locate. It searches for what are classified as liquid resources held at any financial institution. That includes checking accounts, savings accounts, money market accounts, certificates of deposit, credit union share accounts, and special purpose deposit accounts like Christmas clubs or vacation club accounts. Essentially, any account where you can deposit money or hold a certificate at any bank or credit union, this verification is built to find it. It runs across all 50 states, the District of Columbia, and all U.S. territories. Approximately 96% of all financial institutions currently participate in this automated system, which means the agency can verify your balances completely electronically without you ever being notified that this step took place. For the very small number of institutions that do not participate, the agency will use a paper request process instead. But the reach is effectively nationwide, and the bank scan is not the only system involved here. There is an entire set of separate tools that work alongside it to build a complete picture of your financial situation. There are payroll information exchanges that can tell the agency exactly how much you are earning through an employer, often quickly enough to adjust your very next benefit check. There are systems that pull data from the National New Hire Database. There are separate wage verification tools built specifically for SSI. Each one exists to confirm a different part of your income and resource picture. You do not need to memorize all of these acronyms. The only thing you need to understand is that verification starting in 2026 is automated, layered, and vastly more thorough than the old system most seniors remember from 10 or 15 years ago. Before I walk you through exactly how to protect yourself, I want to say one thing directly to you. Because the fact that you are still watching right now tells me something very important. Most people see a title like this, click, feel a moment of worry, watch for 2 minutes, and then click away without ever learning what they actually need to do about it. You stayed. That tells me you are serious about protecting the benefits you depend on. And you understand that knowing exactly how a rule works is the difference between getting blindsided by it and staying ahead of it. So if you have not subscribed yet, please do it right now. Tap that button and turn on notifications because these verification systems behind your benefits are exactly the kind of thing almost all seniors only find out about after a problem has already arrived in their mailbox. You are here early. Stay subscribed so you stay ahead. Now, let me walk you through exactly how this works in practice, using the exact same example the SSA itself uses internally for training, so you can see exactly how a verification plays out. Imagine someone applying for SSI who reports one small checking account with about $20 in it and one $100 certificate of deposit. Their total reported resources are around $120, well under the limit. Under the new rules, the agency will still run the full bank verification, even though the reported amount is extremely small, because verification is now mandatory regardless of the amount you state you hold. The scan comes back, confirms the checking account, finds no other unreported accounts, and the person's resources are confirmed almost exactly where they stated. Because everything matches and stays within the small tolerance the agency uses, the entire process moves forward smoothly with no further issues. Now, change one single small detail. Imagine that same scan comes back and shows the checking account holds far more than the person reported, or it finds an additional account they never mentioned at all. Now the agency is required to investigate much further. They have to verify the exact value of that certificate of deposit, review all other balances much more closely, and the small tolerance that would have allowed them to skip further steps no longer applies at all because the verified total is higher than what was reported. And this rule applies for the entire time you receive benefits. If your verified resources stay low and consistent over time, you may face far fewer repeat scans. But if any scan ever shows you close to or over the limit, you can expect to be verified over and over again at regular intervals, because the agency is specifically instructed to continue monitoring when the numbers indicate a possible resource issue. So what does this actually mean for you, and what exactly should you do? This is the part almost everyone skips, and it is the part that will actually protect your benefit check. Let me lay this out for you as 4 clear actionable steps. First, if you receive SSI, locate every single account that has your name on it, not just the one your benefit check gets deposited into. Sit down sometime this week and make a complete full list. Your main checking account, any savings accounts, any old account at a bank that may have changed names or been acquired, any credit union account, even one you opened 30 years ago and forgot about, any certificate of deposit, any club or special purpose account, If you are not sure if an old account is still open, call the institution directly and ask. The goal is very simple. You want to know absolutely everything the scan will find before the scan finds it, so there are no unexpected surprises that put you unexpectedly close to the resource limit. Second, understand exactly where your total countable resources stand against the limit. For an individual on SSI, the current countable resource limit is $2,000. Add up all of your liquid resources across every single one of those accounts. If you are comfortably well under that limit, you have very little to worry about from these verifications. If you are anywhere even close to that limit, this is the time to get completely clear on exactly where you stand, because being close is exactly when one forgotten account can push you over the limit without any warning at all. Third, if your situation has changed in any way, report it properly and on time instead of waiting to be found. The agency has been very clear about this. These systems are specifically designed to find unreported resources, and the safest possible position you can ever be in is accurate, timely self-reporting. If you have received any money, even a very small amount, take the time to understand how it impacts your eligibility and what your reporting requirements are before the next verification cycle runs, not after. Fourth, and this is the most important protective step of all, when the agency contacts you about verification or sends you a redetermination notice, respond quickly and honestly and keep copies of absolutely everything. The single worst thing you can possibly do when you receive a verification request is ignore it or guess. If you are unsure how any particular account or asset impacts your eligibility, that is exactly the kind of question you should bring to a qualified independent professional who specializes in these matters. Because the answer depends entirely on your individual specific situation, and I cannot provide personalized advice through this video. Now I need to tell you about something extremely important, because anytime a new rule like this gets public attention, a scam appears attached to it within days, and that scam is already active right now. Here is exactly how it works. A senior hears about this new Social Security bank verification rule from a video, an article, or a friend. Within a very short time, they receive a phone call, email, or text message from someone claiming to be a Social Security verification specialist, a benefits compliance officer, or a federal account review service. The caller tells them that because of the new 2026 rule, their accounts need to be verified or pre-cleared, and that they can handle the entire process, protect their benefits, or shield their accounts from the scan for a one-time fee. Sometimes it is a few $100s, sometimes it is an ongoing percentage of their benefit. Here is one single sentence that will expose this scam every single time. There is no fee, no service, and no third party anywhere that can shield your accounts from official verification or complete this process on your behalf. This verification is conducted directly and exclusively by the Social Security Administration. There is no authorized middleman that can opt you out of it, pre-clear you, or protect you from it for money. Anyone offering you that is selling you a complete lie, and almost always what they are actually trying to get is your Social Security number, your bank account number, or a verification code, which is the real entire purpose of the call. Write this rule down and keep it somewhere safe. The real Social Security Administration will never call you out of the blue and ask you to confirm your Social Security number or your bank account details over the phone to comply with any new rule. They already have all of that information. When they need to verify anything, the official process happens through your online account, your redetermination paperwork, and official mailed notices, not through an unexpected phone call demanding immediate action. If anyone ever calls you claiming they can help you with this new bank access rule, hang up the phone immediately. Then, if you have any questions about your own personal situation, go directly to the official source yourself. Call the SSA on 1-800-772-1213, the number you look up yourself directly on ssa.gov. Never any number that a caller gives you. And report any scam contact to the SSA fraud hotline at 1-800-269-0271 and to the FTC at ftc.gov. These reports actually do help investigators track these groups and warn other seniors before they lose money. Let me wrap all of this up right now in the simplest possible terms, because Absolutely everything we have talked about today comes down to four very small things you can actually do this week. Number one, if you are on SSI, make a complete list of every single financial account with your name on it, including old and forgotten ones, so you know exactly what a verification will find before it runs. Call institutions directly if you are unsure if an account is still open. Number two, add up all of your liquid resources across every single one of those accounts and understand exactly where you stand against the resource limit. If you are close, treat that as your sign to get clarity right now, because a forgotten account is exactly the thing that will push an otherwise fine case over the line. Number three, report all changes accurately and respond promptly to any verification or redetermination notice you receive. Accurate, timely reporting on your part is the single best protection you can have against an overpayment that you will later be asked to pay back. If you have any questions specific to your own finances, speak to a qualified independent professional who can review your individual situation. Number four, protect yourself from the scam. Nobody can shield your accounts from official verification for a fee. The agency will never cold call you and demand your social security number or bank details to comply with any new rule. If you get that call, hang up immediately and verify anything directly through ssa.gov or the official phone number you look up yourself. I want to close by saying one thing directly to you because I think it is very important. This rule is part of a much larger ongoing shift towards more automated, more frequent, and more complete verification of benefits. These systems are getting far more capable, and that trend is not going to reverse. None of this will come with a friendly letter walking you through exactly what it means for your check. The agency will not call you to help you stay compliant. The system will just run. And the people who stay protected are not the people with the simplest finances. They are the people who understood exactly how the verification works, knew what it would find, and got their own affairs in order before it ran. You watch this entire video. You already understand this rule better than 99% of seniors ever will. Now take that next step sometime this week. Subscribe and turn on the notification bell if you have not already, because the verification systems behind your benefits will keep changing, and this channel covers every single change in plain, simple language long before it arrives at your door. The next update could easily be the one that impacts your specific situation, and you want to be here when it comes out. And before you close this video, please share it with one person in your life who receives SSI or Social Security. A parent, a brother or sister, a neighbor, someone from your church or your community. One single share from you might be the only thing that helps them get their accounts in order before a verification surprises them. The system is not going to call them and explain any of this in plain English. You might be the only person who ever will. I will see you all in the next one. Smart Retirement Life.